Hello everyone and welcome back to this clan war between DarkOnyx and Ghuldor Bacon, also known as Bacon Clan. Looks like Acid Little X was lagging a little bit. How very unfortunate. And Noisy Ninja also informing us that he might need to pause because, I don't know why. Oh, because he'll need to use the bathroom. Oh man, I've done that way too much. I'll be like, I'm gonna play some Starcraft, and I'll grab some Coca-Cola, and then I'll drink it and play a game, and then I'll finish, and then I'll be like, okay, I'm gonna get another one, and then I get another one, and then it turns into like a 60-minute 4v4 where there's like 3 different instances of base trade, and by the end of the game, my bladder's on the verge of exploding. Oh man, and then you finish the game, it's like, oh my goodness, you gotta be run, and it is the greatest relief in the entire life. Like, your entire life. It is the most relieving sensation ever. I don't even, Hershey syrup? Hershey syrup is a thing? I feel like I should get some of this. Anyways, I totally forgot to introduce our players. We do have Beck, once again, the hero of last game because he won. And down here we do have Noisy Ninja, who was part of Samurai Faith when it existed. So looks like he moved over to Ghuldor Bacon as well because he loves bacon. Oh man, I really hope there isn't anyone that eats McDonald's, 3 meals a day anymore. Like, I really hope no one does that anymore. Like, even if you're like, well, I'll get the salads and stuff, but even then, like, it's all pre-processed food and it's just not good for you. And I just realized the last game I said I was going to talk about myself a little bit. So, as I mentioned in the last game, I do have a hearing disability. I was born with a severe hearing disability. My left ear is, for all intents and purposes, completely deaf. Got a Reaper moving out, so I'll slow it down a little bit. But, yeah, left ear is, for all intents and purposes, deaf. Right ear hears roughly 60% of what the average human would hear out of it. And in particular, I am very deaf in the kind of higher frequencies. So if you're a girl with a very soprano voice, I have a really hard time understanding you. Reaper gets obliterated. I think you dodged an SCV poke, because that was a different death animation. Anyways, or you know what? The graphic settings I have don't have the same death animation. Anyways, so yeah, born with a severe hearing disability. Fortunately, my parents picked up on it very quickly. Got me into speech therapy, which is the reason I can talk like a relatively normal human being. My parents actually knew a couple who also had a kid who had a hearing disability, and when they found out, the wife went into denial a bit, didn't take the kid into speech therapy, and now has a severe speech impediment. Which is kind of sad. So I'm definitely very grateful to my mom for taking me to speech therapy and going through the exercise with me every single week. So thanks, Mom. You are awesome. I don't know if you'll ever actually watch this, but you're awesome. Anyways, so I think we'll get back to this game now. So both players have expanded. I'll bring out the production tab. I keep forgetting to do that. Looks like Noisy Ninja is continuing to make Reapers because they are the most ninja-esque unit that Terrans can make, sort of. If there was a unit that was like a Reaper ghost, then that would be the most ninja-esque unit, because it could cloak and it could also hop up and down cliffs like a ninja. Because apparently ninjas have jetpacks. I don't know, anyways. So both players have expanded. Looks like they all both expanded around the same time. Beck is going into pretty typical bios. Got a tech lab. We'll probably see some reactors added on in the very near future. And looks like Noisy Ninja is going to go for yet another Reaper poke. We'll see if this one's any more successful. Vex and Marines are all out front, so definitely should be able to deal at least a little bit of damage. It will really depend on how quickly Beck responds. He doesn't actually have that many SCVs here because he main-yarded a lot down here. But here we go, Noisy Ninja killing SCVs and bringing up the workers killed tab causes my computer to lag. That is interesting. So it looks like he got, I think, 5 or 6 workers, picked off a constructing supply depot, and then ran away before the Marines showed up. So a nice little play, poke back there, deal some damage, make Beck lose some mining time, which is always a good thing, because so much of this game comes down to your ability to have a strong economy and consistently produce units. If you saw my Taja versus Bomber, or was it 4GG? No, it was Bomber. Taja versus Bomber game, which I did very recently. There was a crazy base trade, and Bomber got the majority of his production buildings out, which I was like, oh man, you know, and like Taja lost almost all his production buildings. But Bomber ended up losing all but 2 of his SCVs, and Taja managed to save 20-some SCVs. And so Taja eventually just kind of outproduced him. So, definitely important to have those worker units. And Noisy Ninja looks like he's a little bit concerned about drops, putting some missile turrets up. Not the worst thing in the world to do. And it looks like we got a reactor building onto the starport, and siege tank researching. Okay, so Vecca's going to go for a ton of barracks, plus some tanks, and medevacs. Definitely not a bad move as far as I'm concerned. Marine tank is, it's kind of an old school build, but it still tends to work. You don't see it nearly as much versus Zerg anymore, which is where it used to be the most common, I think, where it was always Marine tank against Zerg. But Zerg started figuring out infestors and banelings, and eventually Terran kind of moved away from that a bit. I think you still see it sometimes, but I feel like pure bio tends to be a bit more common now. Just because with good micro, you can mitigate a lot of that baneling damage, and you know, you can split well, you can get a few marauders and have them soak baneling hits, things like that. Or you can just go mech and just have Hellion tank, and then the Hellions melt Zerglings all day long. So, but getting back to this game, Noisy Ninja is getting Blue Flame for his Hellions. So it looks like, yeah, he's definitely going for more of a mech-orientated build, whereas Vec is going for more bio. So we'll have to see how that shakes out. As I understand it, mech is technically the superior build. Like, if you play mech correctly, you will usually win, but there is less margin for error. And then with bio, obviously, you have the advantage in terms of mobility, because you can do drops, and you can stim and run around, and all that fun stuff. So he's in and just sieges up by the watchtower. These Marines marching to their doom. Bam, bam, bam. All incinerated. That Hellion stole all the kills. He is a kill stealer, man. If that Hellion were a League of Legends player, he'd be feeling really good, and the siege tank would be really pissed right now. But here we go. Beck going for a drop, but there's a whole bunch of Hellions waiting and missile turrets building. Beck decides to drop anyways, but those tanks are just having a field day, blowing everything apart. And that just didn't work out so well, and that medevac is forced to retreat. Beck making a nice little bank of supply depots back here. If he gets dropped back here, he could be in for the worst supply blocking in all existence. Noisy Ninja with the ouch and the frowny face. And, you know, he's feeling the pain for his opponent. Poor Marauders, they had a family. Well, then you shouldn't have killed them, Noisy Ninja. You should have been a pacifist and moved all your attacking units away so the Marauders could do their job, which was to murder all these SCVs and then fly home. That's what you should have done, Noisy Ninja. I'm disappointed in you. You let us down. You let down the families of those Marauders. Anyway, so both players macroing, and even though Beck lost that entire drop for no real gain, they're pretty much equal in terms of supply. And, yeah, it's really going to come down to, for Noisy Ninja, positioning will be absolutely key, because it always is with tanks. For Beck, it won't be quite as important, but the key for him will be finding tanks that are out of position and picking them off. And Noisy Ninja being a little bit risky by just having these tanks hang out these watchtowers. Beck could actually just drop those tanks and just kill them. And yeah, so we'll see if he does that. It looks like he's heading straight for the watchtower, so he may be thinking about that. Or that's just the path he's taking to go here. Or I don't know. But yep, there we go. And well, tanks can't really hit stuff that is that close. And there goes the tank. There goes the Hellion as well. And he only lost 2 Marines? 3 Marines? I don't know. But either way, that was definitely a good trade for Beck. Because, well, tanks take a long time to build, man. Let's take a look at this. 45 seconds. Yeah, that's a long build time. And, like, the thing is, they're they take 125 gas, which is somewhat gas expensive, but only 150 minerals, so they're not mineral expense, but their real expense is in their building time, and that takes so long to build them up. But here we go. Vec is pushing forward with a very beefy force. Noisy Ninja does have 2 tanks there ready to go. He's got a scan active, but Vec stimming forward and blows apart those tanks very quickly, and Noisy Ninja is not keeping all of his tanks together, and that's something he needs to do if he wants them to be effective. And he really needs more Hellions, man. You can't win with only tanks. You need Hellions to buffer damage and clean up Marines and things of that nature. That said, though, the advantage of this is, if Vec surges forward here again, actually no, these tanks actually aren't good. I was thinking they could hit here, they can't. They're just out of range of that, so... But that said, though, Noisy Ninja is starting to gather his forces together. That's definitely good. Vec looks like he's going to try dropping onto the tanks. Definitely a good move. The tanks are going to blow each other up because they don't care about their friends. They're just like, an enemy, kill him. But dude, he's right next to me. Your shots will kill me too. I don't care about... Oh, Vec accidentally having his forces get a bit overeager and loses quite a few. And... he should really be thinking about dropping, because all of the Noisy Ninja's forces are here. You go up here, drop, bam. I mean, yes, it's a missile turret, but Noisy Ninja would be completely out of position. And Vec could do a lot of damage. Looks like he's thinking about that now. Nope, he's just going to keep dropping on the tanks, which is not a bad move, but instead just running away. Okay. And, yep, there we go. Takes out the tank. And just slowly whittling away that tank up, but oh, some of his infantry getting a bit over here again. Commander's like, guys, don't run into the tanks. But dude, it's my AI. I'm supposed to attack if something near me gets attacked. And that's why you use hold position. So, Vec looks like he's going to move up to his third base. This third base has been going for quite a while. Noisy Ninja actually has a very substantial bank. And he's just continuing to make Thors and some Hellions and vehicle weapons, so definitely just, well, completely mech-centric. Vec does have a tiny advantage in the upgrade, having 1/1 for his infantry, whereas Noisy Ninja only has +1 for the vehicle attacks. But the thing is, when you have this many tanks, if the infantry just tries to run in, +1 armor ain't gonna do that much. It's not gonna save you. But Vec is taking a 4th base at... Oh, and Noisy Ninja has a base here that's not even active. It's been there for a while. And it looks like Vec just isn't really sure what to do. Like, I can tell he wants to attack and deal damage, but he knows that if he charges in here, he'll just die. And I've done that too many times myself. I'm like, tanks, whatever, I'll just stim and run in, and then my entire army evaporates. And it looks like Vec is going to pull back a little bit. Okay, he's going to say, okay, this could work. Stimming down, taking out a bunch of tanks, losing quite a few bile. But once again, tanks are expensive in terms of time. And how many does Noisy... 18 tanks, that's so many. What do you even do against that? But Vec has nice positioning with these tanks on the watchtower. Manages to kill a bunch of Hellions before Noisy Ninja is forced to fall back. Noisy Ninja finally getting a bit of mining going on there. Pull out that production tab again. I would love to see Vec get a Ghost Academy and get some nukes. Because the thing with tanks is, if there's a nuke about to land on you, you have to unsiege. And then once that happens, you cancel the nuke, you stem your units forward, you pick off the tanks, you fall back. And you can basically nuke push your way forward. So I would love to see Vec do that. Uh-oh, got a bit of pinging. What's going on here? Oh, lots of command centers. Noisy Ninja channeling his inner Taja. Because as we all know, Taja really loves command centers. Oh boy. Uh-oh, Noisy Ninja moving around with a whole bunch of Blue Flame Hellions. And Vec doesn't have SCVs yet there, but he has nothing here to defend. Oh dear, let's pull that up. So he's got 12 right now, 23! He got 10 kills in 1 second. 31. And right now Vec can't be too happy about that. And he has some forces there, but when there are this many Hellions, well, it doesn't really matter. You can just kind of roast everything to death. And, oh wow, taking out even more Hellions from the high ground. And Vec hasn't moved his main army. I feel like, I know he wants to keep this position, but if you're going to lose all of your economy, it's not worth it. Okay, Vec does have enough here to finally clean up. But 36 minus 12 is 24. You got 24 SCVs with that attack. And that puts Vec down to 48 SCVs compared to Noisy Ninja's 66. And I feel like that could have been worse for Vec. Noisy Ninja could have gone up here and taken out all of these as well. But it was definitely not good for him. But looks like he's fed up. He's going to go for it. And I think this is probably a mistake because Noisy Ninja has so many tanks. But he's doing a decent job. But oh no, his entire army is evaporating. And this is really just a classic mistake of frustration where you're just like, oh, I want to kill him, but then you lose 100% of your units. And what do you do now? And now, Noisy Ninja is going to cruise forward and roast, roast, roast. Bam. Beck not too happy about that, so yeah, I said this earlier, but once again, Beck, if that does happen where there's a tank wall here, just start dropping. I know there's missile turrets. You might lose 1 or 2 medevacs, but then you can deal a ton of damage to his infrastructure. And that's how you have to play Bio. You can't win in straight-up fights. You have to do harassing, drop-oriented play, take advantage of your mobility, and then expand a lot, because his army is immobile and yours is mobile. So, yeah, those are my sage words of advice. So, Beck has gone down. That puts Ghuldor Bacon up to, oh gosh, what is it, 5 wins now? Yeah, 5 wins. And since it's a best of 13, they only need 1 more win to secure themselves the win in this clan war. So, hopefully DarkOnyx throws out their Masters level player next. We will see. Join me in the next match.